Star Wars, because it's Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Star Wars, of course. I like the lightsabers, the lightsaber fights, starships, the story is epic. One of the greatest characters, Qui-Gon Jinn, from Star Wars Episode 1, great one.
I grew up with Hope, Empire, and Jedi, and I really like those three movies. The new ones or the other ones I don't really like, but this is just my personal opinion. So, but I will always say Star Wars. But the galaxy and the universe is big enough for everybody to exist. So of course I accept Star Trek as well.
Leatherface, because he's a fucking maniac with a very, very big chainsaw.
Leatherface, because he has a fucking chainsaw. It's great, I like it.
Freddy Krueger, because he comes in your dreams while you are sleeping, and everybody has to sleep at one point. You can't really live without sleep. Actually, you die when you don't sleep.
I would say Jason, because I think he has more this mystic thing about his character, and like Leatherface is just a human being, and then you have Freddy Krueger, who looks like a pizza man, and more in a fun way, and Michael's also pretty cool, but if I had to choose one, I would choose Jason. Yeah.
Actually, I watched a lot of horror films from back in the days, but the more modern horror films are very, kind of boring in my opinion. And sci-fi has a lot of opportunities, especially with modern technologies like CGI. Horror is not really that spooky anymore with CGI.
I think a mixture of sci-fi and horror is the best for me. Like the Alien movies or Event Horizon and stuff like that.
Of course, I like to watch horror movies and slashes and all that stuff, but at one point gets boring to me a bit. It's all about killing, and if you have sci-fi, you have way more extreme, massive ways of possibilities of making stories, and I don't know. I would choose sci-fi. Every kind of sci-fi.
Yeah, like the mixture from sci-fi and horror, and one of the greatest movies is Alien. The atmosphere, and I like the emptiness in the space. You're alone, and it's great. And Event Horizon, of course, great movie too.
Practice a little bit before the gig, make a little warm up with my bass, listen to 2 or 3 of my favorite songs, and then get a shot of whiskey, enter the stage and raise hell.
I take about 20 minutes before we go on stage, go and get my practice pad, and do some sleeping exercises, single stroke rolls like that. Because especially on cold days, I need to go get warmed up.
I drink beer, and not much, just a small one, a knolle, and that's all. And try to focus on the gig, on the stage, and my equipment. And sometimes I play some riffs, and that's all.
I like to warm up a bit before we go on stage, especially my right shoulder and my wrists and fingers. And I used to play some sections of songs we played that night, like intro section of Betrayers and downstroke parts from Enemy of Mine and Riot. And especially, like the rhythm or the verse part of Cycle. That's really helpful. And have a beer and then go on stage. Sometimes it works, sometimes not so, but shit happens.
I play some games on my PS4, and yeah, one of my favorites is Alien Isolation, very good one, and very dark. The atmosphere again. Yeah, that's all.
I'm a huge wrestling fan. I love the old stuff like the WCW days or things, and a few European German leagues like WXW. And the other hobby is music. Like to collect records and tapes and stuff, and listen to it.
No.
No, not really.
If I have to choose only one, I would say at the moment Toten Ritual from Belphegor, because there are a lot of very interesting drum parts. The overall mixing and mastering on this album is very interesting and well done, and Helmut's voice on this album is very incredible.
The Edge of the World from the band Wolf, the UK one. Great sound, great riffs, great voice. Everything was great in my opinion, and it's very melodic, but it's good.
A Night at the Opera by Queen, because it's the whole package of a record. It's awesome from the first to the last minute. Listen.
Every record from Frank Sinatra, The Doors, Every Woman, and Violator by Depeche Mode, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people wouldn't expect that from me. But if I have to choose only one, I would say The Doors, Every Woman. I think that record sounds very intense, and I like the sound of the guitar on that record, and the voice of Jim Morrison is really intense and emotional way, and I think it's a really good record. Yeah, it's almost at the end of the era, but it's a really good record in my opinion.
At the moment I have two gigs on my mind. The first one was in Białystok in Poland, where we played in a small venue, but there were a lot of people, very fun people, and we had an awesome time there. And the second one was on the Langen Open Air. It was at this point nearly sold out, so there were a lot of people in front of the stage, so we had a very fun time there too.
A great show was at the Metal Bash 2019, I guess, where we had the whole fire show and stuff. It was really awesome. And I love the small clubs in Poland, because people there are ready to party, they raise hell, they have fun, like it should be.
It was Metal Bash and the Langen Open Air. It was a rainy day, but the crowd was good, and I was in a good mood. And there were on the front stage flamethrowers. This was a great experience, I think, and this was a great stage. The second one was the Langen Open Air. Great crowd, a lot of people, and to me it was the biggest crowd I have ever played in front of. Great experience, great one.
If it's about festivals, I would say the Metal Festival and Langen Open Air. Metal Festival because that was the first time we had, flamethrowers in front of the stage and some pyrotechnique, and that was a lot of fun for us, and a lot of friends in front of the stage, and you had this very warm, welcome feeling as a musician, and that doesn't really happen a lot. And they had good beer, and very well organized, and the staff was extremely professional, and the same at the London Open Air, and except the pyrotechnic and flamethrowers, but very well organized, professional staff, and it was a very nice festival, and I think it was almost sold out when I remember this correctly, and massive crowd, yeah, that was fun.
In my first days of listening metal, I got a videotape, a VHS of Anthrax, The Persistence of Video. On this video was a song called Got the Time. I first heard the song and I instantly fell in love with it. And then I thought, yeah, I have to try to make this myself.
I always wanted to play the drums, and when I first started out, I played a lot of punk music like Green Day. So Pretty Cool from Green Day had a big influence on my life. Then I got more and more into metal stuff like Nightwish in the beginning, later Slipknot, and Will Jordison of course had a big influence on my drumming. And now I'm more into the extreme metal stuff, and drummer like Krim Keren and Eugene Lyovchenko had a very big influence on my now playing stuff.
I think I was 13, 14 years old. Back then I had a girlfriend and she was practicing guitar playing. And at that moment I think I was very hyped, and this was the impact I wanted to play guitar. And yeah.
I would say it just happened the way it happened. As I started making music or play guitar, of course I had idols and heroes, still have, like James Hetfield, of course, and Jeff Waters, and Marty Friedman, and Sami Emilio from Creator, and so many other people and so many other guys. But the reason why I make music or play in a band, it just happened that way. It happened.
The very first gigs with Empiresfall. I was very new at this time. I really hadn't the time to prepare myself, but somehow I still managed to do a decent job, but there were a few mistakes.
Thomas.
Thomas.
Yeah, definitely Thomas' birthday party.
That was before my time, sadly, because I heard very interesting stories from this case.
I don't really know where to start. We have a friend, his name is Thomas. Hi Thomas. And he decided to have a party and invited friends and fans and bands to his place.
It was on an old farm, I think, and we played in an abandoned house.
It's not in a disrespectful way, but the farmhouse was really fucked up.
It destroyed everywhere. There was a big hole in the floor.
When I remember this correctly, the house was very old, built in 1700 something, and didn't really have a power supply anymore. So the electricity we needed for our instruments, amps, came by the neighbor house. But it was not enough, so they had to run the mixing desk with a car battery. And every time I touched the microphone with my lips, I was getting shocked. And at some point, I had a huge set list, about 2 hours and something. At some point, I was very afraid to sing because, I knew I was getting shocked again. And at some point, it was just painful. I didn't bleed, but it was so painful. And because it was an active farm, there were so many flies around. I definitely swallowed, 20 or 30 flies while I was singing. And then the other strange thing was, the living room, that was the place where the concert was happening, was so full of people, and other people from outside couldn't come in. Behind our drummer was a window, and that was open. So the people went over, through the window over our drummer while we were playing to get into the room. That was so fucking weird.
Yeah, it was very interesting and very confusing and but in a good way. And yeah, Thomas, it was the worst gig ever.
It was awesome. We had very much fun.
It was a very dangerous, painful, torturing place to be thing, and but it was fun. It was a lot of fun, and Thomas, if you want to have another birthday party, give us a call.
chaos nur sein. Bloodshed in chaos.